Dear students of class 12, you know that in management we have total 5 functions. Number 1 planning, number 2 organizing, number 3 staffing, number 4 controlling, and number 4 directing, and number 5 is controlling. So these 5 functions of management are explained in 5 chapters starting from chapter 4. In chapter 4 we have discussed about planning, chapter 5 was related to organizing, chapter 6 was concerned with staffing, and chapter 7 was concerned with directing. Now this chapter 8 is related to controlling. Okay, so I am starting this chapter today. In this chapter, as per your syllabus, we have total 5 topics. Topic number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Topic number 1 has 3 subtopics. These are meaning of controlling, purposes of controlling and nature of controlling. Topic number 2 has 2 subtopics, importance of controlling and limitations of controlling. And topic number 3 has only one topic, that is steps taken in the process of controlling. Topic number 5 is concerned with relationship between planning and controlling. So here we shall discuss what is the relation between planning and controlling. And number 5, last topic, is techniques of controlling. How do we control? So these are the total 5 topics to be covered in this chapter of controlling. Today I will try to explain topic number 1, 2 and 3. So these are the 3 topics, but in total we will discuss 6 topics: meaning of controlling, purposes of controlling, nature of controlling, importance of controlling, limitations of controlling and steps taken in the process of controlling. Now I am starting topic number 1A, that is meaning and purposes of controlling. Here it is written that controlling means ensuring that activities are performed as per the plans in an organization. It means that in controlling we try to ensure that whether everything is going on according to plan or not, or whether there is deviation from the plan. It involves verifying whether activities undertaken conform to the plans adopted, instructions issued and results expected. That means we have to compare the 3 things: whether the activities are undertaken to which conform the plans adopted, that means they are completed according to plans adopted, according to instructions issued and according to results expected. So controlling means the process of ensuring that whether everything is going according to plan given, whether everything is going according to instructions given, and whether the results are achieved as per the results accepted, expected, expected. Now controlling is also defined by Kunz O'Donnell in the following manner: managerial control implies the measurement of accomplishment against the standard and the correction of deviations to assure attainment of objectives according to plan. It means managerial control means measurement of accomplishment against the standard. That means whether the work has been done according to standard set or not, and correction of deviations. That means if there is deviation, if there is any difference between the standard and the actual work, that is to be corrected, and to assure that attainment of objective according to plan. That means we also have to assure whether the objectives which we have set in planning has been achieved or not. So this is the process of controlling, meaning of controlling. Now controlling serves the following 2 purposes. There are 2 main purposes of controlling. Number 1, to detect errors and defects in the course of work and to take corrective action. That means first we have to detect, first we have to find out the errors and defects. What are the mistakes and what are the defects in course of work? Whatever we have done, whatever work is completed, whether the work has some errors or defects or not, that is to be checked first. And if there are some errors and defects, we have to take corrective action. That means we have to make correction of such errors and defects. This is the first purpose of controlling. Second purpose, to provide proper direction to work in conformity with the predetermined standards. That means we have to provide direction to the work. While the work is being done, we have to provide direction in conformity with the predetermined standard. That means as per the standards we have set earlier, the work is to be completed, and for that standard we have to give direction to the work while the work is going on, while the work is in progress. So these are the two purposes of controlling process. Now number B is nature of controlling. What is the nature of controlling process? We have done nature of planning, we have done nature of organizing, we have done nature of staffing, then we have done nature of directing. Similarly, there is nature of controlling. Nature here means characteristics. So the main characteristics of controlling are as follows. I have given you the 8 points, number 1 to 8. Now I am trying to explain these 8 points. First one is managerial function. Controlling is a managerial function. That means controlling is done by managers at all levels of managers. Managers have to control. Controlling cannot be done by workers or laborers or staff. Controlling is done by the managers. So it is a managerial function. Second, pervasive function. It means controlling is done everywhere, in every organization, at every level, in every department. That means purchase manager, sales manager, production manager, finance manager, accounts manager, everybody has to do some sort of control. Whether it is business organization or non-business organization, whether it is production units or selling enterprise or only trading concern or manufacturing concern, everywhere there is control. So controlling is a pervasive function which is found everywhere in every activity. Third one, controlling is a continuous process. That means controlling is not a one-time act. Controlling is always done continuously from beginning to end. That means when the business is started, when the work is started, till the total work is completed, we have to do controlling. So controlling is a continuous process. It is not one-time activity. Number 4, dynamic process. Controlling is dynamic. Dynamic means which can change according to the change in the situations and circumstances. It is not always that controlling is a rigid process or controlling is not able to change. We can change the methods of controlling, we can change the process of controlling as per the situations, as per the circumstances. So controlling is a dynamic process. Number 5, action oriented. Controlling is always done with respect to some action, some work. What do we control? Actually, we control the actions of different people. What the different people are doing, what the different people are performing, these performances, these actions are controlled. If somebody is doing wrong, we have to correct that. If somebody is doing correct, we have to praise him or her. That means controlling is action oriented. It is always connected with some action or some work or some performance. Number 6 is backward looking, forward looking. Some people say that controlling is backward looking, but it is not fully correct. Controlling is backward looking as well as forward looking. How? When we control the past event, that means when we try to make correction to the past event, it is called backward looking. But on the basis of past event, we can make the future planning also. That means we can make change in the planning for the coming period. So controlling is also forward looking, not only backward looking. So controlling is backward looking as well as forward looking. Number 7 is goal oriented. Controlling is always concerned with goal. Every manager has some goal, some objective, some purpose in his mind. So to complete the goal, to accomplish the goal, to get the goal achieved, we have to control. So controlling is goal oriented. And last point is controlling is measurement. It means controlling is concerned with measurement. What do we do in controlling? In controlling, we measure the actual work, we compare the actual work with the standard. That means we also measure the standard. So first we measure the standard, we set the standard. After setting the standard, we measure the actual performance, then compare both of them. So controlling is a measurement function. So these are the characteristics of controlling which says about the nature of controlling. This was topic number 1. Now topic number 2 is 2A, importance of controlling. That means why controlling is needed, what is the use of controlling, or what are the advantages of controlling to an organization. So following are the advantages of controlling to an organization. Controlling provide these 8 benefits. That means due to these 8 needs or due to these 8 important points we need controlling. First, accomplishment of organization goals. That means the organization goals cannot be completed without the controlling of every activity. So controlling helps in the achievement of organization goals. Second, optimum utilization of resources. When controlling is not done, then it may be possible that some resources are wasted, some resources are lost, some resources are misutilized. So for the optimum use of resources, we have to make controlling. Number third, betterment of employee morale and motivation. When from time to time we see the work of the employees and we make correction and we also advise the employees how to complete the work, then employee gets some morale and employees are motivated. Next, simplifying the supervision work. You know, supervisor is the person or supervision is the work of overseeing. That means when the work is done, somebody has to oversee, somebody has to supervise. So when supervision process takes place, controlling makes the supervision simple. That means supervision work is simplified by the controlling. Then facilitating coordination in the action. When we are doing the controlling function, actually we are making the coordination. That means who will do what at what time, who will start first, who will continue next, and who will finish. So everything needs coordination. Such coordination is facilitated by controlling. Then betterment of planning in future. Whatever has been planned in past, that planning may be right, may be wrong. So when there is something wrong in the planning, for future we can make better planning. That means we can make changes in the planning. So planning becomes better for future due to controlling. And number 8, coping with changes and modification. When there is some need of changing something, then we can introduce the changes while the process of controlling is going on. That means when we see that something is wrong, some work is going wrong, then we can make changes and modification of the work. So controlling helps in coping with the changes and modification. That means controlling is a flexible function, controlling is a dynamic function. So whatever changes are going in the circumstances, in the situations, so we can cope with them, these changes and modification. So these are regarding the importance of controlling. Now number B, limitations of controlling. It is not that controlling always provides benefits or advantages. Controlling also suffers from some limitations. So these 4 points are the limitations of controlling process. What 4 points? Number 1, difficulty in setting standard. You know that for doing controlling or to control something, we need to set first the standards of work according to which we expect the actual work. So standards are not easy to be set. When standards are set, there is too much difficulty, because once the standard is set, we have to compare the actual with the standard. If the standard is itself wrong, then how can we say that actual performance is correct or wrong? So it is very difficult to set the standards to start the or to initiate the controlling. Costly and time consuming process. That means controlling is a costly process. It is a time consuming process. There is a lot of cost. That means we have to appoint some supervisors or some controllers, some person who will supervise the work, some persons who will control the work. So for this function we have to pay them high amount of salary. Similarly, when activities are controlled, every part, every activity is to be controlled. So it is a time consuming process. That means it takes a lot of time. Resistance from employees, third point. That means when we want to go control of activity of a person, then employee may resist that work. That means employee may make objection that why are you disturbing me, why are you telling me, once you have issued the instructions I am doing the work, now in between my work you are disturbing me. So there may be resistance from the employees while the controller is doing the function of controlling. And fourth limitation is little control on external factors. You know, there are some external factors like change in the economic condition, change in demand, change in environment, government policy, government rules, etc. So once the controlling is going on and suddenly if there is change in the external factors, then controlling functions become useless, because we have set everything, every standard according to the previous rules, previous policy, previous situations. But now suppose there is suddenly a change in the external factor, then according to the change our controlling becomes difficult, because we have to control according to our standards, not according to change circumstances. So this is the last limitation of controlling. So these are the four limitations of controlling from which the controlling suffers. Now third topic, steps taken in controlling process. While controlling, we need to go through sequential steps. These are called steps in the controlling process. First of all, we have to set standards. Standard means desired results. What we are going to achieve, what we want to achieve, these are known as standards. According to such standards, we will be comparing the actual work. So first work is to set the standards of desired results. Then second, measurement of actual performance, that means actual results. After the standards are set, we have to measure the actual performance of every work, every worker, every staff. These actual results are to be compared with the desired results. Okay, so third point is comparison of actual results with standard. That means we have to compare number second and number one. Actual results are to be compared with the desired results as step number 3. So comparison is to be done between actual result, what we have actually achieved, and with the standard what we have set earlier. So this is comparison, third step. Number 4, identifying and analyzing the deviations. Deviations here means differences. After comparing the standards and actual results, we have to find the differences, that whether the actual work has been completed according to standards or there are some differences. Differences are called deviations in controlling process. So deviations or differences are to be found after comparing. Then last one is taking corrective actions. That means after finding the differences or deviations, we have to do correction. Correction means if something has gone wrong, we have to give instruction, fresh instruction, that the work has gone wrong, we have to complete the work not in that manner but in some new manner. And if the work has been done according to standard, that means if there is no need of correction, then correcting is not done. That means then we have to praise the person who was able to achieve the standards. So this is the last step, taking corrective action. So we have to complete the 5 steps. We have to go through the 5 steps while doing the controlling process. Setting of standards, measurement of actual work, comparison of actual with the standards, identifying and analyzing the deviations, that is differences, and taking the corrective actions. Now in next class we shall be completing the next 2 topics, topic number 4 and 5, and also the questions and answers. Thank you.